This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Budget betrayal. Families slam what they call Nova Scotia's cruel budget cuts for harming the most vulnerable.
Care cancelled. Seniors at an independent living facility express outrage after the Provincial Housing Agency cut in-house services.
And sled boom. Snowfall and stunning scenery triggers big business for Cape Breton snowmobile rentals.
High pressure brings lots of sunshine for Friday, then a big warm-up coming for the weekend and into next week. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. The provincial budget tabled last week includes cuts to a variety of programs affecting people with disabilities, their families, caregivers, and the organizations that support them.
The disability community says they're being disproportionately harmed and are calling on their government to reverse the proposed changes. Alex Guy has the story.
Colin and Marty Stevenson received a call that left them feeling stressed and betrayed. They were told the day program their 24-year-old daughter Abby takes part in had its funding completely cut from the provincial government's budget.
It is really unthinkable to be in the position where something so fundamental to Abby's quality of life is at risk.
Abby lives with a complex form of epilepsy, and as a result, she is fully dependent and requires around-the-clock care, and she does not speak. She typically attends various day programs at Club Inclusion. Her parents say attending day programs gives the family respite and provides her with socialization and community.
This is a space where she does have a quality of life, where she experiences joy, where she participates in the theater program to the best of her ability, and she is playing games and cooking meals and participating in their little pop-up sales.
Club Inclusion has been around since 2008 and is part of Prescott Group, an organization in Halifax that works with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Christine Riley has been attending from the start.
This place means so much. It's such a special club.
She spent some of her time at Club writing to her MLA.
I wrote about how amazing our staff is. If we did not have this money for our staff, we would not have any staff. And it makes me very sad that they want to take it away.
Prescott Group CEO Alice Evans says the plan is still to push through and continue programming, even though the future of funding is uncertain.
We know that there's a 10% cut to day programs altogether, to our day program. The complete cut to the Club Inclusion Day program funding. We're pretty sure theatre programs and our community arts programs, which we have a lot of, will probably be cut. And we've had some reductions to our wage base as well.
Abby's father, Colin, says the cuts mean organizations and groups will have to work that much harder to maintain levels of service to this community, and success shouldn't be measured with money.
It's measured by how they care for the most vulnerable. And in this aspect, in this moment, in this decision, our government has failed us, and we feel betrayed.
We are not going to be here forever, and not knowing how the province is going to take care of her is something that we are constantly worrying and frantic about.
Families and advocates say they want the government to reverse these cuts. Premier Tim Houston told reporters that his government is willing to listen to objections, but that there are no plans to adjust the budget. Alex Guy, CBC News, Halifax.
Nova Scotia's housing agency is making changes to a program that helps seniors live independently. The changes will remove full-time support staff from 3 of the 8 facilities that offer the program. As Josh Hoffman tells us, residents of one facility feel ripped off and afraid.
It makes me sick, absolutely sick.
This is how many residents at Crossgill Court feel right now. 27 seniors here pay for a full-time continuing care assistant to work in-house. They cook, they clean, they even organize games and exercises for residents to stay active. But these programs that are helping residents here live more independently are being taken away.
When they're gone, there's nobody. So I get a little scared.
Crossgill Court is one of 8 facilities in the province that offer the Enriched Housing Program, which are apartments for seniors who need support, but not the full suite of services you'd find in long-term care. But the Nova Scotia Provincial Housing Agency recently announced 3 of these facilities, including Crossgill Court, will lose support staff. The residents here feel robbed. They say they wanted to move into this facility because of the services available, which they're happy to pay hundreds of dollars a month to receive. If the services aren't kept here, will that make you think that you need to go somewhere else?
Yes. Yes, it would. I don't see the purpose of it.
How does that make you feel?
Terrible. Terrible, because I've grown to care about the people here.
The housing agency says residents can continue living here, but if they want continuing care, they have to apply through the province. But these seniors feel that will be inferior to the level of care they currently receive.
They do all kinds of really great things, and they treat you like family.
They treat us like we're their grandmothers and grandfathers, and it's a nice feeling to know that somebody's there that cares.
So why is the housing agency making this change? A senior official says the long-term care facility attached to Crossgill Court is moving, and management says it's not feasible to continue to provide meals and care. They also say some of the seniors in the enriched housing program have complained about having to pay the mandatory costs.
I know it's a change, and I sympathize, I really do. Again, the convenience factor and the relationships that they built out, I realize that's going to be different. But they can still access the services.
But for seniors at Crossgill Court, that convenience is everything, and no one is complaining about costs.
They think that we don't have emotions. They think that we're just old and you can pat us on the head and we'll do whatever they say.
Nearly all 27 residents have signed a petition calling for the service to stay the way it is. Josh Hoffman, CBC News, Bridgetown.
Halifax Regional Police are investigating a shooting that happened late this morning in Dartmouth's Burnside Industrial Park. Police were called to the intersection of Wright and Garland Avenues for a report of an injured man. They found a 23-year-old man with a gunshot wound. He was transported to hospital with what police describe as serious but not life-threatening injuries. Police say they do not believe the man was shot in that location, and they also don't believe it's a random incident. They examined and then seized a cream-colored luxury automobile in a parking lot near the intersection. It had a bullet hole in the rear driver's side window. There was also another possible bullet hole in the driver's door. The car was hauled away.
Some Nova Scotians are among those stranded in the Middle East while missiles are fired on the region and the war there intensifies. Explosions in the capital of Qatar this morning forced the evacuation of the American embassy. Miriam Karim of Halifax and her mother arrived in the city on Friday. They planned to catch a flight to Iraq on Sunday to visit Miriam's grandmother, who has recently suffered a stroke. But on Saturday, the airspace over Qatar was closed, and they received multiple alarms from local authorities telling them to seek shelter.
It feels lonely, I would say. Scary too. I'm sure I'm not the only one, and when I speak, I'm not speaking just for myself. I know many Canadians are under the same situation, and they're facing the same uncertainty.
They have a return flight to Canada scheduled for March 18th, but they do not know if or when the airspace will reopen. Global Affairs Canada is advising Canadians in Qatar to shelter in place.
Numerous nations have sent rescue flights to get their citizens out of the Middle East, but it is impossible to fly into some countries like Iran and Qatar. Canada is working to get more than 2,000 Canadians out, and Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand outlined the 3 options for Canadians.
1 is chartered flights, 2 is blocked bookings, 3 is land transportation. The availability of those options will largely depend on the particular country. For example, if airspace is open or not, and for example, if we are able to travel or advise travel over land.
All right, quick break now to check in with Ryan on the weather.
And those temperatures sure took a drop.
Yeah, absolutely. A huge cool down today compared to yesterday, and from mid to high single digits to minus mid to high single digits across most of the province today, the exception down into the southwest this afternoon. But yeah, it was definitely a huge cool down and a shock to the system. Tomorrow, we're back closer to seasonal, still a little cooler for this time of year. Light winds, temperatures on the plus side down toward the southwest again, -5 in Cape Breton, and most of the province in that -1 to -3 range. Brighter skies towards the northeast. It's a little cloudier down toward the southwest as the system passes just off to the south. Not enough for precipitation, but close enough that we will be seeing some of that cloud cover in the mix. High pressure keeping things quiet overall. Then that high pressure moves out, and for the weekend, we're tracking this system, which is well to the west, but close enough that we're getting into this warm sector as early as Saturday. Temperatures bumping up mid to high single digits. And yes, it looks like we'll have the possibilities for some double digits for some on Sunday with showers. Your full 7-day is coming up, Tom and Amy.
Do stay tuned. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
The federal government announced an expansion of military housing at CFB Halifax today. The base, which currently has 468 units for military members and their families, will double in size. Last week, the federal government announced some bases were getting more than 1,000 units. Halifax MP Shannon Miedema defended the number of new units for Halifax.
I know that they did a big assessment. Minister McGuinty went across Canada looking at what were the housing needs for military members and their families, and it was really based on need per base, what they're rolling out now.
Miedema said the housing expansion will help ease pressures on the local market. It's unclear when the announced units will open, but they will be either 1 or 2 bedroom apartments.
Teaching assistants and other workers at the leading arts college in Nova Scotia are on strike. Unionized workers at the Nova Scotia College of Art and Design in Halifax were on the picket line today. The union, which represents 68 staff, says negotiations over the group's first collective agreement failed late Tuesday. Teaching assistants, research assistants, and independent course appointees have all been without a contract since they voted to unionize in 2023. The union president says negotiations with NASCAD have been a struggle.
This is a first-time contract. It takes a long time. It's the first time this group has ever unionized, right? So we expect a first-time contract to take more time, but this is way beyond what would be reasonable for a collective agreement.
Meanwhile, in a statement, NASCAD says CUPE has not demonstrated meaningful negotiations on key terms in the agreement, including wages. Snowmobilers are making the most of the winter this season in Cape Breton Highlands.
And thanks to all the snowfall, snowmobile rental companies are busier than ever. Anna Rack has that story.
It's hard to travel through the Cape Breton Highlands in the winter without seeing a snowmobile go zooming by. And this year, the conditions have been perfect for it. Sheldon Garland is part owner of Highland Powersport Rentals in Badek. Typically, he doesn't get bookings until the end of December, but this year, they started rolling in at the beginning of November.
This year, the snow came early, and a lot of people were thinking about it beforehand, trying to get the machines booked for they'd have availability.
With about 50 more people booking than last year, he says the extra money goes right into buying more snowmobiles for his business. He's now up to 10 sleds. He says there's nothing better than being able to take more people up into the Highlands. This group is heading all the way up to Cape Smoky.
We enjoy it. We enjoy meeting the people and just showing people what's in our backyard. Like, people don't realize what's in the Cape Breton Highlands or even on the trails, the local trails.
For Turk and Kathy Tower at T&T Outdoor Adventures, it's a similar story. They've been snowmobiling for over 40 years and built a business around it up on Hunter's Mountain.
We love to provide a chance for people to make memories, and it's always a great adventure, and people like to experience snowmobiling.
For our clientele, some of them are lesser experienced, so once we're on the trail, the first trail we're on is very wide, so it's very forgiving, lets them build some confidence into themselves, and by the time we hit some smaller, narrower trails, they're good for it.
For the towers, it's all about sharing the natural beauty.
It's just the scenery, the camaraderie, the trail network. It all works together. It just makes for a fantastic day on the trails.
There's always lots of things to see and to watch for. Watch out for wildlife along the way, and there is a lot of different viewpoints that make it pretty spectacular to see.
While they are thankful to Mother Nature for all the snow, they're also thankful to the dedicated trail groomers who make it possible to cruise the backwoods. Anna Rack, CBC News, Badek.
There's a peek at Johnson's Brook in Hammonds Plains. Ryan is up next with full weather forecast.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
Well, a dramatic cool down for sure. It was chilly out there today.
Absolutely, but good news on the horizon for the weekend, right?
Yeah, temperatures are rising back through Friday and into the weekend and into next week as well.
Okay.
Long, sustained warm-up that's likely going to caused some dramatic impacts to the snowpack. We were talking about this today at our desks. And have a look at this. This is the model projection on the left. That's where this model projection for snowpack, basically around 20 to 50 centimeters. You know, you can see the Cobequid Mountains standing out a little bit there on the left and the Cape Breton Highlands. On the right is the model projection for a week from today. And lots of white there, which is 0 centimeters of snow. It basically, the model projecting that we're going to lose most of our snow here over the next week or so. You can see the Cobequid Mountains and the Cape Breton Highlands and northern New Brunswick as well standing out. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out here. But I suspect we'll lose a lot of it through the weekend into early next week. There are the temperatures this afternoon, and you can see it was hanging on to the mild temperatures in the southwest, but the rest of the province, just a massive drop from yesterday. How far from yesterday? Well, here's the comparison. This afternoon versus yesterday afternoon, and most of us had fallen from afternoon to afternoon, a 24-hour difference, double-digit differences and even teen differences towards places like Sheet Harbour, Halifax, Antigonish, a huge drop from one day to the next. And it's all thanks to this frontal boundary, which has been pushing through and is continuing to drop temperatures all the way down to the south and west. We'll all get into the same air mass overnight and as we move into tomorrow. This little wave here, this is going to be pushing just to our south thanks to this area of high pressure moving in, helping to drive it to the south. Now, tomorrow, I do think we're going to get into some of that cloud cover for the southwestern areas of the province that will be close enough to that system. But generally, high pressure will dominate enough that we're going to be looking at a fine Friday in terms of the skies, but still a little bit cool, as you'll see. And the warm-up is on. The Gulf of Mexico is starting to push that milder air up. It looks like could see a severe weather outbreak this weekend across southern parts of the U.S., which is always a sign of spring, and those mild temperatures eventually pushing in for us as well. As we walk you through the timeline, you can see the clouds still hanging out over the southwest tonight. A cold night tonight where we'll approach -20 in the northeast. I think we're going to be in the -18 to -20 range from Amherst, Truro across to Port Hawkesbury, -15 to 18 across most of Cape Breton. We'll be -10 to -15 through a good chunk of central parts of Nova Scotia and hanging out near -6 in through Yarmouth in the southwest, where that cloud will be a little bit thicker. And as we walk you through the day tomorrow, note again in the southwest, that cloud, South Shore, Tri-County area, it's a little bit more dominant. Lots of sunshine, though. The valley, through the metro area, back across the northeast and into Cape Breton, especially, where we're looking at, a lot of sunshine on tap for tomorrow. Temperatures here cooler, though, -4 to -7 across Cape Breton. The winds will be light tomorrow. We are going to be looking at temperatures right around -2 to -3 for the eastern shore towards the Northumberland shore tomorrow. And we are looking at Amherst, Truro, Parsboro right around -1 to -2 for tomorrow as well, with lots of sunshine on tap. Back into the south and west, mainly cloudy skies here along that south shore and back into the Yarmouth area, but sun and cloud in through the valley, Cobequid Bay, and up into Colchester, Cumberland as well. No precipitation there for tomorrow. As you can see here with this area of high pressure that is going to be dominating, and looking ahead into Saturday, we are looking at maybe a little bit of sun early in the morning, but the clouds building in on the leading edge of this next system. And I do think into the afternoon and evening, we could see some drizzle developing along that coastline. That will push in a better chance that we're into the chance for drizzle by Saturday evening. Note the temperatures. 6, 7, 8 degrees for Saturday afternoon, and we're going to continue to warm into Sunday. Showers on tap for Sunday, though. It's looking quite damp, and then we've got a secondary push of milder air as we move into next week. So yes, showers and fog. If you are hoping to get out and enjoy that snowpack, Saturday is your day this weekend. Just some drizzle chances, as I said, but not much snowpack left after Monday and Tuesday of next week. Beyond that, forecast models flirting with a system for mid next week, but lots of up in the air. Lots of warm air before we get there.
You bet. Right. Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Thanks for that, Ryan. An update now to a story we brought you last year. The town of Woodstock, New Brunswick has installed a 130-meter-long fence in front of the grandstand at Connell Park Raceway.
It comes months after a child was fatally struck by a starting gate while watching an event. The CBC's Aidan Cox reports.
New fencing has gone up at a horse racing track in New Brunswick. after the death of a child last year. The safety improvements were made at Connell Park Raceway in Woodstock. They come months after Gunnar Dickinson was fatally struck by a starting gate while watching an event here in June.
I think that safety-wise, it was important to do it, and what happened that day around here will never be forgotten.
McLean was at the track last June 14th, opening day for the harness racing season. According to police reports, during the start of one race, 3-year-old Gunnar could be seen leaning over the top railing of the wooden fence that ran along the grandstand. As the pace truck approaches, other spectators can be seen leaning back, moments before Gunnar is struck in the head by the starting gate. That wooden fence is now gone, replaced by a 2.4-meter tall chain-link fence. McLean says it's changed the aesthetic of the 58-year-old venue, but for good reason.
I'm a mom. I mean, I'd feel so awful if anything happened to my son, but anything that can help to prevent, something like that never to happen again, I'm all for it. And I think the town has stepped up and done a good job of putting the fence up.
As a council and town staff, we continue to hold in our thoughts the family who suffered an unthinkable tragedy during the opening day of harness racing at Connell Park Raceway.
Woodstock Mayor Trina Jones declined an interview request. In an email statement, the town says the new fencing cost more than $39,000. Woodstock Town Council also agreed to issue a tender for new fencing to cover the entire perimeter of the track for an estimated $115,000. The town says the new fence enhances overall safety and security for all events.
Coming up, a panel series in Halifax tonight will host discussions on female leadership in the military.
Captain Nicola Goddard was the first Canadian woman soldier to lose her life in a combat role. For the last 8 years, a Women in Leadership series has been held in her honor. The Halifax stop is Thursday night. And I'm joined now by Lieutenant Colonel retired Eleanor Taylor with the True Patriot Love Foundation, which organizes the event. So Nicola Goddard died in 2006 in Afghanistan.
Yes.
At the age of 26.
That's
Tell
right.
me a bit about her story.
So Nicola lived all over Canada. She lived in Alberta, she lived in Papua New Guinea, she lived in the north. Her parents were educators. She lived for her high school years in Antigonish, and she went to the same high school that I went to in Antigonish. From there, she joined the Canadian Armed Forces as an artillery officer. While there are women in the artillery, it's still a very small percentage of women in the artillery. And she then went to Petawawa. She deployed to Afghanistan after completing RMC and tragically lost her life in combat there, but through her example and sacrifice gave us all so much.
And this leadership series, how did this all come about?
Yes, so after her death, her parents established a fund to make sure that her legacy was both honored and used for great purposes. And in 2018, they gave us the privilege of stewarding that fund. And so we raise money in Nicola's name to provide services for serving women, veterans, women, and their families, the specific services that they need. And so the leadership panel is a way by which we can demonstrate to businesses, to civilians, the great value that comes out of the Canadian Armed Forces. And one of the things that we hope to achieve through the leadership panel is to help people see all the strength that comes out of the Canadian Armed Forces and how it can be applied in Canada in other ways, through employment, through volunteerism. And so the objective of the event is twofold. One, it's to kind of share leadership experiences with corporations and also to raise money for women who need the services coming out of uniform or while they're still in uniform.
Well, what kind of services are most valuable to those women?
So there's something really powerful about having services that are specific to women because while we share many of the same needs as our brothers, sometimes having those be focused to our specific needs is really important. So there is a high prevalence of sexual trauma that comes out of military experience sometimes, and so services specifically addressing the impact of that are available. Also, there are programs where women can just be together in community and feel the pride of being a woman who served. And so there are health needs that are unique to women's service that can be focused on specifically.
Well, with tonight's event, what are you hoping people leave? What kind of sense do you hope they have after it's done?
Right, I hope they feel proud of their Canadian Armed Forces and the women who serve. I hope they feel inspired by the messages that they're conveying of leadership and that they learn about what it means to serve in uniform. I hope they feel inspired by Nicola's legacy. This is the 20th year of her death, of her passing. Her mom will be with us tonight here in Halifax. And I hope they personally feel proud having contributed to services that are very much needed.
Well, when it comes to Nicola in general, like her personality, her drive, how would you describe it?
So Nicola was an exceptional officer. She was known by her competence, by her capability, by her compassion, and also her optimism. She was a really articulate, capable, competent leader. I don't know if you ever had the opportunity to read some of her letters home, where she talks about her experience in Afghanistan through such a thoughtful lens that would make any Canadian very proud.
I wanted to ask you about a comment from U.S. President Donald Trump earlier this year, who said Canadian troops that were in Afghanistan, quote, stayed a little back, a little off the front lines. for someone who's had a career like you've had and in general with the military, what do you make of that comment?
So I want to reference General Retired Wayne Ayer's response to that, and that is clearly bait for us to rise to, and I will not do it the dignity of rising to it with rage, but I can respond with clarity, and that is Kandahar was one of the most deadly and dangerous places in Afghanistan, and the Canadians' loss, sacrifice, and contribution per capita was not in any way in the back, but was very much forward. We lost lives, and lives were irrevocably changed through the service at the very tip of the spear.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. We do appreciate it, and best of luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Coming up, Israel and Iran continue to trade strikes, and the fallout from the fighting is spreading throughout the Middle East.
And researchers say lowering federal guidelines around radon gas could save lives, but Health Canada has no plans to change the threshold. Welcome back. The sixth day of the U.S. and Israel war against Iran has seen the conflict widening yet again. Iran's retaliatory strikes have hit another nation, this time in Central Asia.
This while looming new offensives are triggering evacuations in Iran and an exodus in Lebanon. The CBC's Crystal Gamansing reports from Jerusalem.
Israeli officials issuing 2 evacuation orders for the populations of Iran, but also Lebanon, telling people that they need to get away from specific locations that will be targeted with airstrikes for their own protection. Now, in Iran, they say that the area around Tehran, specifically 2 industrial zones, will be targeted. Israeli officials say they are looking to hit military installations, including missile launch locations, which they have been targeting for several days now. They're also warning people in Lebanon to seek safety, specifically around the southern suburbs of Beirut. Now, this is an area that is considered to be a Hezbollah stronghold. Officials are saying individuals in that location need to go north for their own protection. That is causing a lot of concern in Lebanon because that is an incredibly densely populated location. More than 80,000 have already been displaced when an evacuation order was issued by Israel for people in southern Lebanon. With more ground troops building up, pushing further and deeper into Lebanon, this location is becoming more of a hot spot, but it is not the main or core operation for Israeli officials. There is also a lot of concern growing with Persian Gulf nations. About 16 countries have now been drawn into this war. The latest, Azerbaijan. There were 4 drones that made their way into their airspace. Officials there say that Iran is responsible, and they are demanding an explanation and an apology from Iran. Azerbaijan officials are saying 4 people were wounded in a drone attack that involved airspace around its airport. Crystal Gamansing, CBC News, Jerusalem.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is not ruling out Canada's involvement in the conflict should it broaden. He made the remarks during his trade mission in Australia.
You've asked a fundamental hypothetical in a conflict that can spread very broadly. Today's events, recent events, point to that. So one can never categorically rule out participation. We will stand by our allies when it makes sense. There's a distinction between the offensive actions that were taken and are being taken by the United States and Israel, that were taken by them without consultation with Canada, with other allies, and we're not party to those actions.
The Prime Minister says Canadian forces would always defend Canadians and allies under threat. He's also repeating his call for a de-escalation in the conflict, saying all sides should stop attacks that target civilians and civilian infrastructure. But Carney also says a ceasefire cannot happen until Iran's ability to acquire nuclear weapons is eliminated.
The war against Iran is also disrupting energy exports from the Middle East, and that could push other countries to ramp up production. Anis Haderi looks at whether Canada could step in to sell more oil and gas.
As conflict blocks Middle Eastern trade routes, Canadian energy could see increased demand.
We are even more important today than we were before the weekend.
But can Canada replace oil and gas from the Gulf states?
And the answer is yes, it can provide a small degree. It's the amount. Can it in any way contribute in a large or significantly meaningful way to what is being lost? The answer is no, it can't today.
There are possibilities over a far longer period of time if there's additional pipeline capacity to Tidewater. Expensive railways can also make a big difference, but to justify that, oil needs an even higher price.
I do feel as though there will be an effort to make sure that the oil and the LNG can start to flow because no one wants to see a $90 or $100 barrel. That would create a shock that would be very bad for everybody.
Canada wasn't able to substantially replace lost energy exports after Russia invaded Ukraine. a region that could be a factor this time.
So it's a luxury to have had Russia out of the mix. When push comes to shove, you will start to see countries, turning up their nose, but importing some Russian supply.
About 20% of the world's oil moves through the Strait of Hormuz. If that stays blocked, opening up existing pipelines and trains in North America won't cut it.
There are some minor things that could certainly be considered by individual companies and governments that can support a bit of increased production to fill that void. But over the long term, you need to build fairly major pieces of infrastructure.
Without new infrastructure, Canada could export about 250,000 more oil barrels a day, but that would take a few months. And it's far less than even 1% of total global production. Anis Haidari, CBC News, Calgary.
We now know artificial intelligence is being used by the U.S. military during airstrikes in this war. But there are concerns and questions about what exactly is happening, specifically whether it's humans or machines making the final decision to kill. David Coleman explains.
Artificial intelligence is a key tool being used by the U.S. and Israeli military. And while the extent is being kept secret, it's clear AI is being used against Iran. AI can shorten what the military calls the kill chain. That is the process, usually driven by humans, that can take days or weeks in selecting a target. But AI can shrink that to milliseconds. That involves finding a target, determining its importance, tracking it, selecting the type of weapon and the system to deliver it, then communicating all of that and assessing whether the strike was successful. It all raises a number of questions. Are humans still involved in the decision-making process? Do they consider moral and ethical implications? What if AI gets it wrong? These questions came up with Anthropic, a leading firm that supplies its Claude AI to the Pentagon. It demanded humans always review a decision to kill, but the discussions went sideways, and the Secretary of War took steps to remove Anthropic from future work. But U.S. media report Claude AI was used during the opening attacks on Iran and is still being used now. The Pentagon won't talk about it, except that it plans to switch from Anthropic to a new firm, OpenAI. Here in Israel, the military also makes extensive use of AI, whether it's in the attacks against Iran or in its war on Hamas. But as more people are replaced by machines to fight national wars, it all raises moral and ethical implications. We are very much in uncharted territory.
That report from David Coleman in Tel Aviv.
Turning now to other news, U.S. President Donald Trump says he's replacing his embattled Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem. Trump made the announcement on social media on Thursday, 2 days after Noem faced a grilling on Capitol Hill from GOP members as well as Democrats. Trump says he will nominate Oklahoma Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin in Noem's place. Noem is the first cabinet secretary to leave during Trump's second term. Her departure caps a tumultuous tenure overseeing immigration enforcement tactics that have been met with protests and lawsuits.
Changes to the rules around temporary foreign workers are starting to impact businesses. Workers who've been in Canada for years are starting to leave, and many businesses say they're unable to replace them. Peter Cowan reports.
For some of these workers, it's their last week making cabinets.
I still want to work here, but the government says no.
2 years ago, John Henrik Cruzado left the Philippines to work at this manufacturing plant in Quebec's eastern townships. This week, he's going home. About 30% of the workers here are from overseas, but new federal rules on temporary foreign workers cap it at 10%, so the company can't renew his permit.
For us, it means that we're going to lose like 50 workers this year.
In 2024, the federal government changed the rules to reduce the number of foreign workers. 2-year permits issued just before that change are now expiring, and companies are scrambling.
There's just not enough people in the area. I mean, we post a job and we receive like 1, 2 resumes. Sometimes they don't have the right profile for the job. So it's really, really difficult.
The company is warning that losing these workers will lead to tens of millions of dollars in orders it can't fulfill.
It's very difficult for hoteliers.
Other sectors are feeling the pinch. Many hotels are losing workers who clean rooms and work in the kitchen.
We have these people, they are happy to live here, to work here in this kind of job, and we can't renew their permit. Where is the logic?
Hotels say as workers leave, they can't find replacements. They're having to close rooms or reduce kitchen hours heading into the busiest season. It's tough on the businesses and even more so on the workers.
They come here looking for a better future, but that's kind of the temporary nature of this program.
The federal government says the program was never designed to be a permanent fix. Instead, it says companies need to hire and train the Canadian workers they need. Peter Cowan, CBC News, Montreal.
Some researchers say federal guidelines around radon gas are putting the health of some Canadians in danger. Millions of homes in this country have high levels of the invisible radioactive gas. But many of those homeowners are not taking steps to mitigate the risk. Lauren Pelly reports.
So we're expecting this to be going down after Arthur's done.
Maureen Hayes decided to install a radon mitigation system this winter.
I was definitely concerned, and you know, the government issues these guidelines, but they're different internationally.
For more than a year, readings in her Ottawa home showed a level below Canada's threshold for taking action, but also higher than some other global guidelines. Canada's threshold to take action on home radon levels is 200 becquerels per cubic meter, a measurement referring to the amount of radioactive gas present in the air. That guideline is double the maximum threshold recommended by the World Health Organization.
Canada's radon guideline is due for an update.
This environmental advocate says having a higher guideline could discourage many Canadians from mitigating their homes.
The Canadian standard that recommends action only above 200 is really failing to protect Canadians.
Breathing in radon gas can cause lung cancer, and data shows close to half of all detached houses in Canada have levels above the WHO's guideline. Health Canada says the department encourages Canadians to reduce their radon levels as much as possible, since there is no safe level of exposure. But at this time, there are no plans to change Canada's guidelines. Some scientists say more research is needed before updating our approach. This team is studying whether the risk of radon is rising thanks to added factors like wildfire smoke.
The dirtier the air, the greater the dose from the radon.
Cancer touches nearly every family in Canada.
Millions in funding was announced last week to support that research alongside other studies to prevent cancer. Health Canada told us the findings could help inform future radon recommendations. In the meantime, homeowners like Hayes have to decide what level of this cancer-causing gas they're willing to live with. Lauren Pelly, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada's main stock index finished more than 300 points lower as the price of oil rose above $80 U.S. per barrel. After Iran launched fresh attacks on Israel, U.S. bases, and countries around the Middle East. Here is a look at the numbers as we head to break. Welcome back. The 2026 Milano Cortina Paralympic Winter Games get underway tomorrow in Italy, and they will include a number of athletes from the Maritimes.
Among those athletes are PEI's Arendz brothers, one as a coach, the other as an athlete. Nancy Russell has that story.
This will be the first time that PEI brothers Mark and Menno Arendz are together at the Paralympic Winter Games. This is the 5th Games for Mark, who has won 12 medals, including a Canadian record of 6 at a single Games in 2018. This time around, his younger brother Menno will be joining him as a coach for biathlon and cross country.
Yeah, Menno joining me behind the scope on the biathlon days or yelling at me on the uphills in cross country. A few years ago, thinking about who could I have behind the scope or as my biathlon coach, and who's going to push my buttons, who's going to be able to push my ability further and further. And there was pretty much only one answer that made sense, and that was Menno.
Menno Arendz joined the national team as a shooting coach in 2022 and was excited to find out that he was heading to Italy.
As a relatively young biathlon coach, it's an achievement to go to your first games, of course, and Paralympics or Olympics.
Mark and Menno's parents will be at these games, the first time they've seen Mark at a Paralympics since 2010 in BC. Menno says he still regrets not making it there, but is making up for it now.
We have seen ups and downs. We have seen lots of things on the road, and now we get to see the product of what we've done and the hard work we've put in as myself, as the coach, and Mark as the athlete.
Mark will turn 36 just before the Games. He's one of the veterans of the Canadian team and a role model for the next generation. But he says he is also learning from them.
Sometimes it's been really healthy for me to just step back and see the excitement for these athletes to experience something for the first time. It helps me step back and enjoy the experience as well.
An experience that this time will include his brother.
I know that in the heat of the moment, I will always have someone deep in my corner. So that's always very special. You can't miss his voice. And that's a good thing on a Nordic trail. But yes, you could pick it out.
Nancy Russell, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Yeah, a family affair.
You bet.
That is it for us tonight.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.